Okay. What do we think of that plate? I think it's okay. There's like little raised edges. Yeah. I think that's okay. We'll have to add a little bit of color variety to it because they're just so plain. I don't really like how it looks like one flat color of copper. Maybe that'll fix itself though when we get to painting in some of the other details, like the stones, you know, like the warp stones that are all over it. Gotta make those in a relatively bright green. At least that's the plan. There we go. Now don't be afraid, by the way, chat. I did not go outside today. I only was inside. I was originally gonna go for a run, but then it was fucking cold. So I decided to stay in and play RuneScape instead. Got him, dude. It balances out in the end. No, it was like 3 degrees Celsius out. I was like, nah, I think I'm good. Didn't really feel like it. Old school RuneScape keeps you warm? Exactly. There's little like rivets or nails or whatever these things are that I would like to dot with a little bit of this bright color. Okay. A rivet, a rivet. Maybe I can use this as an edge as well on all of these panels. Gonna be very, very stable. Yeah. What's up, Falcon? Your mom sent you a pic of your cat with yarn? Ooh. Cats love yarn, dude. Okay, a little bit of color variety up here. I think that's quite nice. I did spill a little bit. But I think I can tidy that up. There we go. There we go. Okay. Just a tiny little bit of variety. Do I ever watch Joe Rogan podcast? Sometimes I do. Not everything's great though. I think some of the guests that Joe Rogan gets on is, yeah, they're really good. And obviously he's a very good interviewer. But he's also very Joe Rogan, you know? I don't know how I describe it any better than that. Joe Rogan can be very Joe Rogan, where he's like, okay, I don't know, man. Yeah, all the political shit, I don't know, man. Yeah, I think the space guys are pretty fun. I think my favorite podcast that I ever listened to was Joe Rogan with Matthew Walker. Dr. Matthew Walker. Highly recommend that one if you're interested. He is a doctor that specializes in sleep. Yeah. I really like that one. Wasn't that the one he was bought? I think I got bought by Spotify or something like that, yeah. What's up, Selderic? How are you doing today? Okay, I want to do a little bit of a base coat on some of these stones that are on the back. We kind of got to experiment a little bit with how this looks in the end. So I'm going to use a little bit of a base coat of like a dark green, and then we'll brighten it up over time. So let's get a little bit of this green out there. And we'll base coat the rocks. So this is going to be like a greenish look. To every single one of those things. Gotta be a little careful. Yeah, a lot of podcasts by Americans automatically turned into American politics. Which I guess is only natural, but it makes me lose interest really quickly. You're going to a black gothic metal concert tonight? Yo. I don't know what that means, but yo. Enjoy. Cradle of Filth. That's the name of the band? What a name. Cradle of Filth. That's also what my mom called my bedroom when I was 14. I've never heard of that band before, though. Do I speak Dutch and English? That's what I speak most of the time. They're hella big, very old school? Ah, okay, nice. What's up, Fo? Here to say hi. We have 12 hours a day of blackouts in Ecuador. This is my last 12 minutes of electricity for today. Damn, do they have like rolling scheduled blackouts? That sucks, dude. That's one of those things that most people over here never even consider. That is not a concern for any Dutch person, man. That's fucking rough. That sucks. I don't speak Spanish, no. I know my username is Lowko, but I don't know why either, man. Kind of stuck, I don't know. I think Lowko is a pretty good name, but it's some people do immediately assume that I speak Spanish because of it. People have asked me if I'm like Brazilian or something. But nope. It's a bit of a crazy name, dude. Yeah. What's going on, Borsty? I do speak German, does that count? Not as exotic though. But my German's also kind of mid. It's because I never practice it. I think if I would move to like a German place, I could learn it pretty quickly, but all Germans I ever interact with speak perfect English. Which is, yeah. You've been playing a bunch of Warhammer Darktide this week, so this paint session fits this week's theme. Very nice. Is Darktide Age of Sigmar? Or is it Warhammer 40k? We're ever close to the French border in the Netherlands. We don't border France. We do border Belgium, and Belgium borders France. But it's, when I was in high school, I don't really know what it is like these days. When I was in high school, you had to have Dutch, you had to have English, and you also had to choose either French or German. Yeah, no, the Dutch border does not get to France. Back in the day it did, but then Belgium wanted independence and shit, you know? Belgium was like, we want to be able to commit war crimes by ourselves. And we're like, okay, jeez, fine. You just exposed your shitty geography knowledge. It's okay. Belgian history lesson time? No. Too much information, dude. Also, I'm gonna get shit wrong. This was about Borsty embarrassing himself, guys, not me. Are you from Germany or a Bayern? What? Hold up right now. What am I missing here? Does Bayern want to be independent? Is Bayern the Texas of Germany? It's a Freistaat? What does that mean? It's a free state? Yeah, but it's still part of Germany, no? It has no meaning, it's only a title. The rest wants it to be independent? Oh, okay, interesting. Belgium doesn't even have its own Wikipedia page? For war crimes? What about the shit in Congo? Does that not count? Do we not count that? I would say we count that. I guess it wasn't a war, yeah. There's a page for British war crimes though. God, it's a very long Wikipedia article too. You can keep scrolling, man. There's 203 references. That's more a crime against humanity? All right, fair. I mean, any country that's been around for a while has done some fucked up things. Literally any. In Germany, there's plenty of memes where people are like, I wanna spend some time in another country where they don't speak my language and have a different culture. I'm heading to Bavaria. Really? Wait, is Bayern really that different? Like, is Bavaria really that different? That's funny. How big is it? I don't actually even know. I feel like this is an entire part of Germany that I'm not even really familiar with, man. Do they have internet in Bayern? Am I getting the hang of it, guys? Do they have internet in Bayern? Listen to Bavarian on YouTube sometime and you won't recognize it? Okay, huh. I get it immediately. Okay, perfect. It's like a fifth of Germany? Wait, what? Hold up. Sorry, we need to wait a minute until this dries. Bayern. Yeah, I searched that and the first thing I get is Bayern München. I don't care about... I don't care about football, man. Oh, it is huge. Dude, it's bigger than the Netherlands. Well, I mean, the Netherlands is tiny, but, you know, as far as provinces go, or is it a state? Oh yeah, dude, even on the Dutch Wikipedia page, it says the Vrijstaat Beieren. It's the Free State of... Huh. Interesting. 70,000 square kilometers. Yeah, that's bigger than the Netherlands. Interesting. All right. Didn't realize that. I'm gonna go ahead and wash those green things with a little bit of non-oil. Really? Oh, that's interesting, man. We do have a whole lot of accents in the Netherlands too. And generally speaking, it seems that like when like the farmer areas interact with areas that, you know, don't speak their accent, they switch up their accent. That seems to be the general rule of thumb. Because it is quite difficult to understand as well. Like when they're going like full rural, it is kind of tricky to understand what they're saying. I'm assuming the Bayern accent is kind of similar to that. You can understand Dutch better than Bayerish? Really? Okay, maybe it's not. Maybe it's more... maybe it's stronger than that. I don't actually know much about the history of Germany. Like, we obviously got a lot of World War history in the Netherlands, but I'm not exactly sure what happened after the whole Holy Roman Empire situation. Or really what happened before that either. I guess that's the case for most countries, though. Everybody kind of understands their own history a little bit, but then after, you know, the further out you go, the more tricky these sort of things become. You think about the Roman Empire daily? I don't really, I'm afraid. I do think about like ancient Egypt on the daily though. Does that count? I feel like that counts. Okay, so that's the base code for all of the green gems. They're scattered all over this guy. I'm gonna make it a lot brighter than this. I wanna go all the way up to like some dot highlights with yellow. So we want to make this quite bright, at least that's the current plan. But we'll have to wait until this is a little bit more chilled out. I think I'm going to go ahead and highlight some of the chainmail or the plate mail as well. I want to go quite bright on that, so I'm thinking like my brightest silvery bit. I don't know if this is going to make it too shiny, but we can cover it again. Nothing happened between 1933 and 1945. Nothing, don't worry about it. This is a Warhammer mini, yes sir. Okay, the plan is to almost use my brush as like a dry brush here. Even though it's not dry, and it's not a dry brush. But I am gonna try and run only the very tip of the brush over all of these chainmail sections. We don't really want it to run into any of the recessed areas. So, very gentle. Is that too bright? Just the tip, Lowko, pull out before you go too deep. Right. That's what I'm trying to do. I just want to like gently brush the tip over the chainmail. Are we still having the same conversation? Now, I don't want to get this into all of the shaded areas, right? So I've made the recessed bits of this chainmail very dark, almost black, but it's really not that deep. So if we go ham, it's gonna goop up the details, which is not gonna look great. You should not brush your tip over chainmail, Lowko. It hurts. It's not good for the brush, that's true. In general, metallic paints are not great for your brush. I've been streaming for a long time, guys. I can dodge your dirty talk without any effort. Okay, we'll have to wait until this is dry. Don't tempt us, Lowko. Don't do that to Mugetsu. Mugetsu is already ready with his hammer. He's always ready with his hammer, though. Does copper rust? Because I do have some of this paint, which would look kind of nice on the copper. What does copper do when it ages? Yeah, does it get like a verdigris or does it get more like a rusty effect? Aged copper. What does aged copper look like? Yeah, it gets more like a verdigris, right? That's it. It gets like little blue speckles. Yeah, it oxidizes. Yeah. So I have this stuff that I don't really use too much called verdigris, which creates like kind of that effect, I think. Should we give this a shot? I feel like this is quite brave to use, but. YOLO? No, we don't really want to YOLO it. If I like make it quite diluted though, like I do like a very diluted version of it, I think we can probably run this into some of the recessed sections here. Let me just Google it real quick one more time. Like, is there like a copper armor type of thing? Can we have like... Yeah. So in the recessed bits, it gets like little hues of green, blue, even some red and stuff. Okay. Maybe this will be a bit too bright, but... Basically in areas where water settles, right? I wonder if I should even dilute this somewhere. I think that's good. So we add like a tiny little bit in the most downward facing sections, I guess. Maybe a tiny little corner bit, but. Any places where water would automatically settle. Around these little rivets as well. Good. Just a little bit of color variety I think is good. I'm assuming Mr. Redman is not spending a whole lot of time cleaning his armor. Okay. That looks nice, doesn't it? Happy little oxidization. That's it, dude. I would like to maybe add like a little bit as well in like some of the little cracks that are on the actual armor. I'll wipe most of it off, but there are like little divots on the actual panels, little cracks and bits and pieces that are kind of like a little bit more recessed. Just trying to work a tiny little bit of paint into those. Don't need much, but just trying to hold it up to the light so we can actually kind of see where it's dented. Okay, we'll let this dry for a sec. It's a Skaven? Yeah, it's one of the new Skaven miniatures. It's a little hard to see, but if you look very carefully, it's got a tail, for example. It's still technically a rat. Lowko, here's 1 minute of German versus Bavarian phrases. Okay, we'll have to wait until it dries up. Let's have a look.
Mensch, ist das eine urige Kneipe hier. Geleck ist das eine Borzen. Servus. Ich hätte gerne ein halbes Hähnchen.
Halbes Händel, bitteschön.
Nee, hier kommt noch ein Bekannter.
Na, da kommt noch ein Spezi.
Komm, verzieh dich.
Schleich dich.
Du, ich geb
Okay, I have nothing.
dir gleich eine saftige Ohrfeige.
Du kriegst gleich drum watschen.
Der Mann
It sounds German, but I have actually no idea what the guy's saying. He's trying really hard with the the regular German part is sounding normal-ish. But Byron is, no, I understand the first one, not the second part. Oh, Milo's walking on my audio interface. Oh. Milo, I love you, man, but can you like not walk over my audio interface, please? I know. I know, buddy. You can come. You can, okay. You don't want to? Audio interface equals bed. Well, I have sliders, like physical sliders, and like a little touchscreen on my audio interface. So cats obviously can move the physical sliders, and they can also oh, okay. Hey, buddy. You can also use okay. He can also use the touchscreen with his paws. What are you doing? Do you want to cuddle? This is not really the time for cuddling, buddy. Oh, whoa, 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 careful, careful. Don't walk into fucking paint, you idiot. All right, I caught him in time. He's like, let me walk all over the wet pallet. You won't touch me. YOLO. He knows how to get my attention. That's okay. He's a sweet little cat. He's sitting on the ground. Toby is over there in the chair. We're having a good time here. No girls allowed, okay? Which is convenient because she's not home. What do you guys think of the little... Don't look at the rocks. But what about the little verdigris effect? It's very... Yeah, I actually like it. It's good. It's not too crazy. I think that's quite nice. Yeah. I will add a little bit of like a rust effect as well onto the chainmail. Plate mill, chainmail? I never know the difference. No, this is chainmail. I do know what the difference is now that I think about it. Just little pockets of orange in some of the little rings. Now Mino gets up and stretches his legs a lot when he's chilling. He like does a little loop around and then he does some stretches and he goes back into napping mode. Just working it around in the different sections. Trying to add a little bit of a fresh hue of rust. It's a little too extreme over here in this area. I'll just feather it out with some water. Okay. Yo, have a go on, Barcy. Take care, man. Thank you for stopping by. Little paw-sized color prints all over the floor is what this room needs. You and me have very different opinions of what this floor needs. Okay, let's try and do some highlights on the actual stones. I'll use a tiny little bit of like a relatively, that's like a medium green. We did a dark green already right over there. We get like a medium green and then like a bright green. These rings always come off. I don't think I've used this paint since. Adding it into a dropper bottle. And I also want to do like little dot highlights. Or maybe just mix in a tiny little bit of yellow. I've got like a little shelf, Nikki, that I have my my miniatures on. It's right over there in the corner of the room. I don't know if you can see it. Right over there. We have like a little shelf, and that's generally where the minis live after I finish them. I have enough space for the time being. It's just an IKEA shelf, nothing special. I want to make this highlight relatively chunky. So I can do a slightly narrower highlight on top of this section as well. It's very hard to see. They're very tiny. Did I say IKEA? I did, Swedish guy. IKEA. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Jag älskar IKEA. I'm planning on buying a closet with glass panels for your miniatures. Yeah. I think that's the play. There's quite a few options available if you like Google that sort of thing. Or ask AI. There's a lot of good Reddit results for that sort of display cabinet type of thing. Which, yeah, it saves dusting, right? Like if you, it gets dusty if you don't do anything with it for some time. I'll probably have to get something like that at some point, but I don't really finish minis very quickly. And they don't take up a lot of space. Because they're miniatures, you know? Thank you, Black Sausany. What's up, Galvarino? Yeah, you can kind of clean them, I guess, if you have like an airbrush or something, or like a can of compressed air, something like that. You can kind of blow the dust off of it. I'm not really too concerned about that, but if you have a lot of minis, having some sort of display cabinet is definitely worth looking into. My cats seem to be leaving the miniatures entirely alone. They don't really care. If they were being annoying, I would have already gotten something a little bit more stable. But they're leaving it alone, and the shelf will do for now. Yeah, some of them can be fragile. Or you could try and maybe get rid of some of your like human skin, so you don't have as much dust going around your room and become more like the Mechanicum instead. And then once you are more like a robot rather than a human, you will probably be having less dust in your home too. Because it's just like a bunch of dead skin cells and like other dirt and whatnot, right? So like, become a robot, don't go outside. It will probably reduce the amount of dusting you will have to do. Okay. I think that's pretty good, chat. Yeah, I think the skin color of the red is actually really good. I was afraid it was a little bit too pale, but now that we are filling in some of the details surrounding it, it's looking a lot more, yeah, no, it's good. Because it looked a little bit boring, right? When everything was gray. It was just gray on tones of gray. It was like 50 Shades of Grey. Now, I love 50 Shades of Grey, naturally. But it was a little bit too gray for my liking. Try to do a slightly narrower highlight here. Okay. These are very fucking tiny. Try my best to not smudge it. I do, by the way, have this stuff as well. Tesseract Glow. Do you reckon this would be good? On top of all of these things? I'm afraid it's gonna cover up some of the details, but I wonder if that will actually give me the look that I'm going for. Does anybody know? Has anybody ever painted warpstones here before? I don't know how much of the Tesseract Glow really covers. I would like it to kind of maybe run a little bit, but like I don't want it to go too crazy. Like this is already looking pretty good. I would like to add tiny little dots of yellow on the sharpest edges. It's mostly on the upsides, I guess. Little dot highlights. I feel like this stone over here is just a tad too, this final highlight I did was just a tad too bright. Too chunky. That's better. Okay. I'm gonna add a little bit more of that rust paint, very diluted, because some of these areas are very shiny, and I would like it to be a tiny little bit less shiny. Just on the shiniest sections here. Not to completely remove it, but I wonder how good the Tesseract Glow is for warpstones. My music ended. Let's see. Glow warp stones. Painting warp stones with Tesseract Glow has amazing results. Primed with white paint and using a thin layer of Tesseract Glow. First result I find is somebody saying it looks amazing. It's mildly fluorescent. Well, the thing is, people are using it, so it's a paint, like that's my main concern. This is a paint that's mostly meant to be used over like a white or like a gray primer. Or like a... I don't know if I like the idea of what do all too much though. I wouldn't mind having it like a little bit brighter overall, but I also do have this stuff, which is very similar. Let's try just a little bit of that striking scorpion in some of the recessed areas. This is a very bright green. So the Tesseract Glow is kind of nice, but it also is like, it's like green and yellow in one bottle and you don't have a ton of control over it. This is just a very sharp green, a very bright green. I wonder if this will work a little bit more for what I'm aiming for. So I want to just have a little bit more brightness in some of these sections. What's going on, Schaden? Okay. Very small amounts, but should be good. Mini's coming along. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is going. Getting there. Okay. I think that's the top section of this back section done. So that's kind of the vibe we're going for, I think. So the metallics, we have some of that chainmail that has quite a bit of depth to it. We have some rust and some shiny bits. And then we have those warp stones that are cracked into all of the copper, which I think looks pretty good. What do you guys think? I'm open to feedback. If you think I should change something, let me know. But I think this is kind of the vibe we're going for. We got a little bit of like a verdigris effect. Some of that bright green flowing into these lightning things too. I mean, it's all very small, right? Like that's the size of my thumb. So it's, you know, it's very tiny, but. Okay, let's do a little bit of edge highlighting on the black shoulder plates. Mini is coming along, man. Pretty happy about that. So the black shoulder plates, they're meant to be metallic. I have mixed in black to try and get a very dark metallic. I don't really know if they read as a metallic right now though. You can see a little bit of a shimmer on these black shoulder pieces. But I think if I edge highlight them, they may look a little bit more like metal. So I'm just taking a little bit of that pure gunmetal. We're gonna just skim this around all the edges. It's a little too chunky. I need to be a little bit more... It's kind of a thick line. The horn is in the way. Okay.